Good morning. Happy waking back. I'm not doing this. I I usually have a whole spiel, but I've done this fucking video 5 times and I keep getting interrupted and there's so many pauses and I'm in the middle of a sentence. So it's like, I'm not doing all that shit again. I'm so tired of doing this. I've already read this 3 times. I'm just so over it. So, get your keep other people alive juice because it is a day. It is a day of days. So, get your keep other people alive juice and let's try to get through this in one take. Do you see it? My spoon got stuck in my glasses. So I should not do that again. Okay. Now we left off. Saul had just become unofficial king, right? He's unofficial king. Now the Naish, the Ammonite, he was going around chopping off people's right eyeballs because he I I don't exactly know why. It's probably some kind of sexual sedition or something because these people are fucking weird. He's like, the only way I can bust a nut is if I take out your right eye. So, Naash, the Amorite, besieged Jabesh Gilead. And all the men are like, we're cowards. Let us serve you. And Naash said, if I can gouge out your right eyeballs, maybe. Because that's disgraceful and whatnot. And the elders said, all right, we'll do that. But give us 7 days. Normally nobody helps us, so, eh, But let us ask just in case somebody's like, hey, we should help these guys. So Naash is like, okay, let's see who comes and rescues you. Let's see. All right, well, wait. And so the messengers came to Gibeah and they reported the matter to all the people because they couldn't find Saul. So they told all the people, and they was crying and throwing a hissy fit and doing that thing that Jews do when they're pretending to be sad. And then Saul was like, the fuck, you bunch of big ass children. I literally left you for 1 second. What are you doing now? So then the little guy came and told Saul what was going on. And Saul was like, all right, all right, all right. Now I'm mad. You guys are making me mad. All right. He's like, all right, give me a cow. Give me 2 cows. Right? And then cut them into pieces. And then when you cut them into pieces, send them to everybody and tell them if they don't come and help, I'm chopping them up like this cow. Right? So the messengers went and they told all the people, like, Saul's not joking, dude. He, like, literally took this cow and cut it up as soon as he heard it. So, like this guy, right? So, they all went. They all went to Bezek. And there were 300,000 vampires and 70,000 werewolves. And they said to the messengers who had come, all right, all right, all right. So then they came to Jabesh Gilead. And then the people was like, fuck yeah, look, our eyes. Yeah, we're going to be able to see. So the inhabitants of Jabesh said, okay, all right, one more day. Let us celebrate. We are going to get white girl wasted. Right? We're going to be like, we just want one more night. So the dude's like, yeah. So the next day, Saul put the people in 3 companies. He's like, And then at the morning watch, they rushed in and they was whooping ass. They was doing the vampire and werewolf thing, ripping people up and like, ugh. And I'm sure even at this time they were drinking blood. So because these people fight like fucking madmen in this Bible. So anyway, they had come and whooped the camp's ass until the heat of the day. And those of the Ammonites who survived scattered. So no 2 of them were together. So Saul bust that ass. So then, after the people win, they came to Samuel and was like, who said Saul isn't the king? Let's bust his skull open. And then Saul said, we're fucking celebrating. We don't need to kill nobody. Shut the fuck up. Like, what are you doing? You don't need to do that. And then Sam was like, okay, we're going to go to Google and we're going to officially make Saul king. And it is going to be fan-fucking-tastic. So, all the people went to Gilgal and they made Saul king. Now, from this point, they always make the kings at Shechem. So, I don't know what this is. Going to Gilgal, I believe, this is the only time they make a king outside of Shechem. At this point, I think after this, they always go to Shechem. Okay. But they made Saul king, and they sacrificed offerings of well-being before the Lord. And there's Saul and the vampires rejoiced greatly. So they was getting white girl wasted. Okay. So give me 1 second. We're going to go to chapter 12. Oh, press like and subscribe and hit your pipe. Press pause and hit your pipe and press like and subscribe. And I will be right back. All right, chapter 12. Okay. And then Samuel said to all the vampires, I have listened to you and all that you have said to me, and have set you a king. See, it is the king who leads you. I am old and gray, but my sons are with you. Yeah, but your sons are shit. And this is why Eli died, because Eli's sons were shit. And then he was like, I don't know. I have led you from my youth until this day. Here I am. Here I am again on my... Shut up. Here I am. Testify against me before the Lord and before his anointed. See, and I don't know why he says any of this, because none of the people have accused him of a fucking thing. But I guess maybe he's saying it because they were like, who's Saul, this guy? So, He says, "Whose ox have I taken? Whose donkey have I taken? Whom have I defrauded? Who did I oppress? From whose hand have I taken a bribe to blind my eyes with it? Testify against me, and I will restore you." And they have said, "You didn't do none of that shit. Fuck off, dude." Captain. Oh, she's gonna ignore me now. Come on. Get over here. No, I guess not. Okay. Okay. It says, "Testify and I will restore you." And they said, like, that's my dad. And they said, "You didn't do none of that shit." And he said, "The Lord is witness against you, and his anointed is a witness this day that you have not found anything in my hand." And they said, "He is a witness." I'm surprised they didn't do the Jew thing and go back in his whole past and be like, "Hey, this one time you didn't wash your hands." You know, because Jews are good at going in your past and telling people about you. But if they find my record, I would love to see it. "The Lord is witness, who appointed Moses and Aaron and brought your ancestors up out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore take your stand, so that I may enter into judgment with you before the Lord, and I will declare to you all the saving deeds of the Lord that he performed for you and your ancestors." When Jacob went to Egypt and the Egyptians oppressed them. This is supposed to be Joseph. This is supposed to be Joseph. Jacob didn't come until the Pharaoh was like, Joe, bring the family." So, then your ancestors cried to the Lord, and the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, who brought forth your ancestors from Egypt and settled them in this place. Hey, that was not without his shit, though, but it was Jacob. Jacob was sold into Egypt. This is wrong. This is not what happened. This is not right. This is not right. This right here. No, this is wrong. This has to be the most fucked up typo, and whoever wrote this book should be fired. Well, retype this book. They should be fired, because this should be Joseph. Okay. They should be like, "You're fired. Fuck this guy." But they forgot the Lord and sold them in. And he sold them into the hand of Sisera, the commander of the army of Hazor, and into the hand of the Philistines, the hand of the king of Moab, and they fought against them. They cried to the Lord and said, "We have sinned, because we have forsaken the Lord and have served the Baals and the Astartes." But hey, seeing as these fake gods can't save us, can you save us? Because, we're fuckwads, but it's not exactly our fault. You leave us by ourselves, and then, we turn into teenagers. Hey, come on. And the Lord sent Jerubbaal, well, Jerubbaal, and Barak, and Jephthah, Samson. Listen, this is the saddest fucking story. Oh my god. This is the saddest story. And rescued you out of the hand of your enemies on every side. And you lived in safety. What? Come on, over here. I don't know what that sound was. But when you saw that King Naash of the Amorites came against you, you said to me, no, but a king shall reign over us, though the Lord your God was your king. This should be is, but okay. See, here is the king whom you have chosen. And they didn't exactly choose him. For whom you have asked. See, the Lord has set a king over you. If you will fear the Lord and serve him, heed his voice. Don't rebel against the commandment. And if both you and the king who reigns over you follow the Lord, it will be well. But if you fuck around, you will find out. Therefore, take your stand. See this great thing that the Lord will do before your eyes. Yo, watch this shit. It's going to be great. Just watch. Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call upon the Lord that he may send thunder and rain, and you shall know and see that the wickedness you have done in the sight of the Lord is great, because you demanded a king for yourselves, because fuckwads. So Samuel called upon the Lord, and the Lord sent thunder and rain that day, and all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. See, it should just be they feared the Lord, but okay. And the people said, pray to the Lord your God for your servants. It isn't. He's your God too, assholes. So do it so that we may not die. For we have added to all our sins, demanding a king for ourselves. And Samuel was like, you guys are scared cowards. You have done all this evil, yet do not turn aside from following the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. So stop being a bunch of fucking fuckwads. Like, you know God. He lived with your people. Like, you know him. And do not turn aside after useless things that cannot profit or save, for they are useless. Yeah, like a fucking 20-foot giant demon owl that you sacrifice children to on an island. For the Lord will not cast away his people for his great name's sake, because it has pleased the Lord to make you a people for himself. Come on. Moreover, as from me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by ceasing to pray for you, and I will instruct you in the good and right way. Fear of Only fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. For consider the great things he has done for you. But if you still do wickedly, if you fuck around, you will find out. All y'all are going to find out. It's going to be great. Alright, give me 1 second. Okay. Samuel 13. Saul was ... years old when he began to reign, and he reigned ... and 2 years over Israel. Why do I feel like the Bible says fuck, my cat's gonna flip out if I try to. Okay. If I get my Bible, Captain's gonna leave. And Captain never sits on my lap. Saul chose 3,000 out. Saul chose 3,000 out of Israel. 2,000 were with Saul and Michmash and the hill country of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan and Gibeah of Benjamin. The rest of the people he sent home. Jonathan defeated the garrison of the Philistines that was at Geba. And I don't remember who Jonathan is, but he's somebody. Oh, here we go. Jonathan defeated the garrison of the Philistines at Geba, and the Philistines heard of it. Saul blew the trumpet, throughout all the land, saying, "Let the Hebrews hear." Then all of Israel heard that Saul had defeated the garrison. Yeah, but Saul didn't. Jonathan did. Okay. When they heard Saul defeated the garrison, and also that Israel had become odious to the Philistines, the people called out to join Saul at Gilgal. The Philistines mustered to fight with Israel 30,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen and troops, like the sand of the seashore, in multitude. They came up and encamped at Michmash, to the east of Bethaven. When the Israelites saw they were in distress, for the troops were hard pressed. I've never heard this word outside of the ghetto. The people hid themselves in caves and in holes and rocks, tombs, and cisterns. Okay, so they were scared. Some Hebrews crossed the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. Saul was still at Gilgal, and the people followed him trembling. He waited 7 days, the appointed time by Samuel. But Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and the people began to slip away from Saul. Did we skip a chapter? I don't know. We might have skipped a chapter. So Saul said, "Bring the burnt offering to me, and the offerings of well-being." And he offered the burnt offering. As soon as he had finished offering, Samuel arrived, and Saul went to meet him and salute him. And Samuel said, "The fuck, dude?" And Saul replied, "When I saw that the people were slipping away from me, and that you did not come within the days appointed, and the Philistines were mustering at Michmash, I said, now the Philistines will come down upon me, and I have not entreated the favor of the Lord. So I forced myself and offered the burnt offering." And Samuel was like, "You are a fucking idiot. You have not kept the commandment which he commanded you. The Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom will not continue." The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart. The Lord has appointed him to be ruler over his people, because you have not kept what the Lord commanded you. And Samuel left and went on his way. The rest of the people followed Saul to join the army. They went up from Gilgal toward Gibeah of Benjamin, and Saul counted the people who were present. It was about 600 men. Oh, Jonathan is Saul's son, duh. Saul, his son Jonathan, and the people who were present with them stayed in Gibeah of Benjamin, but the Philistines encamped at Michmash. The raiders came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies. One company toward Ophrah, the land of Shul. Another company turned toward Beth Horon, and another company turned to the mountain that looks down upon the valley of Zeboim, toward the wilderness. Now, there was no spit. Oh, here we go. Now, there was no smith to be found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, "The Hebrews must not make swords or spears for themselves." When did they become Hebrews? Listen. So all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen their plowshares, mattocks, axes, and sickles. The charge was 2/3 of a shekel for the plowshares, and for the mattocks 1/3 of a shekel for sharpening the axes and for setting the goad. On that day of the battle, neither sword nor spear was to be found in possession of any of the people with Saul and Jonathan, but Saul and his son Jonathan had them. Now, a garrison of the Philistines had gone out to the pass of Michmash. Okay, where are we at? Okay. Now, Samuel has told Saul, like, you're old hack, dude. Oh, look. You're reading, it's coupon time. Coupons for tampons. Okay, chapter 14. One day, Jonathan, son of Saul, said to the young man who carried his armor, "Come on, we're going to go over to the Philistine garrison on the other side." But he did not tell his father. Saul was staying in the outskirts of Gibeah under the pomegranate tree that is at Migron. The troops that were with him were about 600 still. Here we go. Along with Ahijah, son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother. this this is Phinehas's son. And the son of Eli, priest, the son of, along with Ahijah, Ichabod's nephew. It's Eli's grandson, carrying an ephod. Now the people did not know Jonathan had gone. In the pass by which Jonathan tried to go over to the Philistine garrison, there was a rocky crag. There was a rocky crag on both sides. The name of one was Boziz's, and the other Senna. One crag rose forth in front of Michmash, and the other on the south in front of Geba. Jonathan said to the young man, "Come, let us go over to the garrison of these uncircumcised buttholes. It may be that the Lord will act for us, for nothing can hinder the Lord from saving by many or by few." Here we go. Then the little guy said, whatever you want to do, consider me the right hand. And Jonathan said, come on, we're going to go show them. If they say to us, wait till we come to you, then we will stand in our place and we will not go up. But if they say, come get some, we're going to go get some because God, right? So both of them showed themselves to the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, look, Hebrews, but they're not from Hebron. See, the people from Hebron should be really upset about this book. It's making them look bad too. So they're coming out to see us, right? Then the men of the garrison hailed Jonathan and his dude, saying, come get some. Come get some, little motherfuckers. And Jonathan said, all right, you come after me because we're about to win. So Jonathan climbed up on his hands and feet with his armor bearer following him. And the Philistines fell before Jonathan and his armor bearer. In that first slaughter, Jonathan and his armor bearer killed about 20 men within an area of half a furrow long and an acre of land. There was panic in the camp, in the field, and among all the people. The garrison, even the raiders, trembled. The earth quaked, and it became a very great panic. Right? Saul's lookouts in Gibeah of Benjamin were watching at as the multitude was surging back and forth. Then Saul said, call the roll and see who has gone from us. And then they was like, Jonathan and little guy aren't here. And Saul said, bring the ark here. For at that time, the ark was still with the Israelites. Yeah, because they just got it back. Yeah. While Saul was talking to the priest, the tumult in the camp of the Philistines increased more and more. And Saul said, withdraw your hand. Then Saul and all the people who were with him rallied and went into the battle, and every sword against the other, that there was very great confusion. Now the Hebrews, because for some reason Jews are being called that now, who, come on, who had previous, come on, okay, don't. Um, Now the Hebrews who had previously gone with the Philistines. See, if I was from Hebron, I would not want to be associated with these fucking people. Look at what they're doing in your name. Listen. Hold on. So they preview, or Hebrews, who had previously been a traitor, they had become a traitor again and joined the where they were originally from again with Saul and Jonathan. Likewise, all the Israelites who had gone into hiding heard that the Philistines were fleeing. They too followed closely after them in battle. Oh, you didn't want to go until the end, you bunch of motherfucking cowards. So the Lord gave Israel the victory that day. The battle passed beyond Bethaven, and the troops with Saul numbered altogether. Now remember, it was 600 before. Now it's 10,000. The battle spread out over the hill country. Now Saul committed a very rash act on that day. He had laid an oath on the troops, saying, "Cursed be anyone who eats food before it is evening, and I have been avenged on my enemies." So none of the troops have tasted food. All the troops came upon a honeycomb, and there was honey on the ground. When the troops came upon the honeycomb, they was and the honey was dripping out. They did not put their hands to their mouths, for they feared the oath. But Jonathan, who had not heard any of this, he extended the staff that was in his hand and dipped the tip of it in the honeycomb and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes brightened. Then one of the soldiers said, "Egg, you're dead." He said, "Nah." And then Jonathan said, "My dad is so fucked up. See, my eyes have brightened because I tasted a little of this honey. How much better if today the troops had eaten freely of the spoil and taken from their enemies. For now the slaughter among the Philistines has not been great." After they had struck down the Philistines that day from Michmash to Aijalon, the troops were very faint. So the troops flew upon the spoil, took sheep, oxen, calves, and slaughtered them, and the troops ate them with the blood. At least they're finally being honest about these people drinking blood. Then it was reported to Saul, "Look, look, look, they're eating blood." So listen, remember, and what we were reading before at the end of the Old Testament, they were doing the blood thing. Now, it was reported to Saul, "Look, the troops are sinning against the Lord by eating with the blood, because there was originally no blood thing. How all of a sudden is there a blood thing?" And then he said, You have dealt treacherously. roll a large stone before me here. And then Saul said, disperse yourself among the troops and say, let all bring their oxen or their sheep and slaughter here and eat. Do not sin against the Lord by eating with the blood. So all of the troop brought all their oxen that night and slaughtered them there. And Saul built an altar to the Lord. It was the first altar that he had built to the Lord. So he's like, hey, big guy, build you something. And then Saul said, let us go down after the Philistines by night and despoil them until morning. Let us not leave one of them. And they said, aye. But then the priest said, we need to pray. So Saul said, shall I go? Shall I go down? Will you give them to the hand of Israel? But God did not answer him that day. So this is the first time that we learn God don't talk to people he don't want to talk to. So, like, God picks and chooses who he wants to talk to. He's like, you're a fuckwad, I'm not talking to you. And then Saul said, hey, everybody, come here, and let us find out how this sin has arisen today. For as the Lord lives, who saves Israel, even if it is my own son, he shall surely die. But there was no one among all the people who answered him. They was like, God keeps sending you to voicemail. Like, he's sending us to voicemail because of you. Like, I don't know. And then he was like, you shall be on one side, and I and Jonathan will be on the other side. And the people said, whatever you want to do. And then Saul said, oh, Lord God of Israel, why have you not answered your servant today? If this guilt is in me or in my son, oh, Lord God of Israel, give Urim. But if this guilt is in your people of Israel, give Thummim. And Jonathan and Saul were indicted. No, they were indicated by the lot, but the people were cleared. And then Saul said, cast lot between me and Jonathan. And Jonathan was taken. And then Saul said, tell me what you did. And John told him, I had some honey. But here I am. I will die. And then Saul said, God do so to me also and more. You shall surely die, Jonathan. Then the people was like, what the fuck? No. Why are you killing people? We have a victory. Isn't that what you said? Don't kill people when we're doing victories. No. As the Lord lives, not one hair of his head shall fall to the ground. For he worked with God today. So the people ransomed Jonathan, and he did not die. Good. The only good thing the Jews have ever done. Then Saul withdrew from pursuing the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. When Saul had taken the kingship over Israel, he fought against he fought against his enemies on every side, against Moab, against the Ammonites, against Edom, against the kings of Zobah, the Philistines. Wherever he turned, he routed them. But he did valiantly and struck down the Amalekites and rescued Israel out of the hands of those who plundered them. Okay, now the sons of Saul were Jonathan, Ishvi, Malchishua, and the names of his two daughters were Merab and Michal. Now the name, but we're just going to call her Michael. And the name of Saul's wife was Ahinoam, daughter of Ahimaaz. And the name of the commander of his army was Abner, son of Ner, Saul's uncle. This Abner guy. Yeah. Kish was the father of Saul, and Ner the father of Abner. There was hard fighting against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong or valiant warrior, he took him into his service. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God, we did really bad. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you and have the greatest day ever.